The relationship with James ended, as we know, but it produced two beautiful, wonderful kids that I know you are so proud of.
They're just so incredibly special, as is James. And I will never stop feeling that way about James.
I heard in another interview that you did recently that it has been at times difficult to maintain a relationship with James, that you didn't have his phone number. Is that...
That's right. He has made a choice, and I think it's been a pretty firm choice to completely keep me out of his life. And so therefore I don't have his telephone number, I don't have his email, I don't have any way of getting in touch with him. Except maybe through a manager, but I don't even know who his manager is. So that's very, very sad for me.
Yeah, the kids are adults now, of course, so it's not as primary an issue as it might have been when they were younger.
Well, Sally had a baby, and we didn't speak about that. So it's been a kind of a sad thing for me. It must be easier for him because he's made this choice.
As I've said to Joan Baez, vis-a-vis her relationship with Bob Dylan, the fans would like it otherwise. They'd like to think that Bob calls Joan when he has a new song, or Joan, and it's sad when it's not that way. But life is. You wrote what I thought was one of the great end of a relationship songs because it was so matter of fact. It spoke to the times. It's the one called "It Happens Every Day."
Oh, that is, everybody loves that song. Everybody comes to me and says, that is it's almost obvious. It's so clear. It's so clearly felt. I'm really surprised that people haven't covered that song because that's a sort of hidden treasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good one for you to play at some other point.
Pete Fornatale back with you on Mixed Bag Radio, and we're going to start this final segment of our Carly Simon visit with a song by the Eagles. The mysterious reason why will reveal itself in just a few minutes on Mixed Bag Radio.
Couple of quick things to wrap up with. The subject of a new book, Girls Like Us, Carole King, Joni Mitchell, Carly Simon, and the Journey of a Generation. Were you a willing participant in the writing of this book?
Yes, I was. I read Sheila Weller's other books, and I thought she's a really good writer, really responsible writer, and I thought that she would be a good person to, at this point in my life, to represent in a limited way the feelings that I did have a few interviews with her over the phone, or answered a couple of questions via email, and I think it came out really well. Considering the task at hand, she was able to incorporate all three of our lives and make us all. She didn't bash us at any point. It's not a, I don't think it's a book that is. It's not a tell-all book. It's not. It certainly tells a lot, but it's not a tell-all book, and it is substantive, and it's about our work, very, very much as it's about our lives. And when I started thinking, oh well, we're still women viewed, through the prism of a man's eyes, I then kind of rethought it and thought, no, it's not. She really does try to grab the temperature of the feelings of that particular time in history, and come up with some conclusions based on what history was making of us then.
I've only read the magazine excerpt, but you would suggest or recommend putting it on the recommended reading list?
Oh, definitely.
All right, I will take you up on that. Where do you keep your Oscar?
Oh, I hate to tell you this. It's so self-deprecating and so I don't know. It's pretty stupid. I keep it with my shoes in my closet under my dresses.
We have
because
a scoop.
I was embarrassed to have it out, I live on Martha's Vineyard. It's like not the kind of thing that I think it would just sort of make people feel uncomfortable if they came in and saw it. It's not the same thing as living in Beverly Hills and having a whole room for your Oscars.
What was that moment like for you? You're in such a select group.
It was appalling. I was just so totally, I didn't want to be that affected by it, but I was. I was caught. I was caught in the grip of self-adulation and humility and all of the things that people, I'm sure, have said a million times. But I was speechless. I had not written a speech. I had not written anything. Just not wanting to even think that it could possibly happen. And so, consequently, I forgot to thank a couple of seriously important people in the process, but I was aglow, and it was very, very sincere, and there was, you just really see a lot of people accepting those awards. You see them as their true selves. They don't dress up for it they don't dress up for it mentally.
You were commissioned to write that for the movie,
yes.
Correct? That's different than you writing something for, say, the new album. But obviously it worked. What worked about it? Why do you think it was the success that it was, Let the River Run?
Well, historically, since then, it's been the song that I've been asked most, to be used at events of all kinds of, social aware functions, workout groups, hymns, advertisements. It's a song that works for so many things. After 9/11, it was used as the Postal Service homage. It was so beautiful. It was really extremely effective. And it's it's funny because somebody asked me this yesterday, that was it true that it was almost replaced by the Eagles' Witchy Woman? And that is true. I got a call from Mike Nichols when I was in London promoting Coming Around Again, saying, we screened the movie yesterday against Witchy Woman for the opening scene, and it really worked well, and we're thinking of exchanging it for that. And I just died. I just about died. For about 2 days it was Witchy Woman and not Let the River Run. But then it became Let the River Run again, and all is well.
I feel about this visit like I do about the final song on your new record, This Kind of Love. There's a sense on this recording of the clock ticking. I want to see if you agree with that. And secondly, I feel about this recording, I feel about this visit, and I feel about life, that it is indeed too soon to say goodbye.
Oh, which is for Art Buchwald.
Ah, sweet.
Yes, yeah.
That is sweet.
But thank you. I loved that song so much, and I played it when I had mono and I had no voice, but it's got all of the original sentiment in it, so I'm so happy that you're playing it.
Do you hear the clock ticking more loudly?
Do I hear it ticking more loudly? I think from the time I was 25 I did. So, I'm young now.
This is the 25th year that this radio program has been on the air, and when they asked me who I wanted to have on to celebrate that milestone, the first name I wrote on the list was Carly Simon.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Carly.
you. I'm really touched.